progress.
I mean, it's a love letter to gaming, man. In general, Steve's inclusion, whatever you want to think of it. This is the last week without Steve, but you know what? Steve might be a little late to the party, but we're getting it started right now. Put on your hats and get out your streamers. Welcome to Grand Finals here at DNA.EXE. Cloud versus Dedede to start things off. Stop me if you were expecting that, because I sure wasn't. Ling versus Lights. Ling needs to win 6. Lights, with the Cloud in hand, needs 3.
Definitely didn't expect the DDD off the start for sure. However, in accordance with the way that we saw the results of that last set, other than that last game where Ling got a little bit juked out on that edge guard attempt, really, the DDD was looking very good. But Light's gonna recognize the fact that it's gonna decide to go for something like that off the start, and with the whole set up, you can afford to go for the DDD instead. That's not gonna kill DDD just yet, regardless of the near one hit KO potential. That is the finishing touch. DDD's so heavy, but still, very difficult matchup for DDD overall due to just how good that disjoint is for keeping DDD out.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You're talking about the shortest ceiling in competitive Ultimate at the moment, and you're just getting you're not getting the kill off of DDD. Granted, it's 84%, but at the same time, yeah, finishing touch, not exactly. It's called the finishing touch for a reason. It is far from a misnomer, but that back air, I mean, there's one finishing touch that you can apply. It is answered right back by Lights. We're at 2 stocks apiece, but right away the message being sent. We got disjoints, and we are not afraid to use them.
Disjoint for sure, coming through with the invincibility and immediately closing that out. But one of the telltales of the way that Ling has been playing too is utilizing that hammer in the right position. It's not easy for a heavy to ever box with someone like Cloud. That's just the truth. But when you have that capability of also keeping Cloud out and going off stage, it can work. Is it easy? No. But is it something that Ling is working with and doing pretty well at it for a matchup that we definitely did not anticipate? Yes, he is. So I'm very interested to see how this set continues to progress as Ling is looking for a bit of cheese and looking to catch one of these inhales off stage if Lights happen to go a little bit too far.
So now as we roll through, that Nair is going to be so useful for Lights in this set. You have to space out DDD however you can. You do not want to be within hammer range, and you're kind of hoping that your buttons are beating out DDDs. You kind of have to wonder. You have to commit pretty hard if you are a Ling and you want that Nair to try to get as quick a button as possible. And yeah, you definitely don't want to be in a position where you're getting edge guarded, because you get limits like that where if you're not able to read the get up properly, you're in for a world of hurt. And nice little roll through on the ledge for Ling to collect that second stock. So now is the time where you need to create separation for yourself. If you're Ling, you want to leave Lights no room whatsoever in order to get themselves back into this thing.
Now, one of the things I like out of the way Ling has been approaching with the matchup, we were talking about the inhales at the ledge kind of falling down a bunch of times, but it actually conditions Lights out of shield because you can't afford to consistently just get grabbed by that. But I don't think you're going to be able to detect that. Absolutely not. Too much knockback coming in from that side B being that close to high percent. So Lights able to answer back and getting to utilizing the upping out of shield for the first time out of the set. It's not something that you want to do too often because of the big punishes that you could take, but it is also something that is very fast when you have an approaching DDD, especially who's throwing Gordos in your face like that.
Up tilts again. I mean, you have to out button your opponent any way that you possibly can, and that up tilt just quick enough to maybe be able to do it, because otherwise you're counting on your opponent to not be able to pull off the hardest tech in the game, which is of course getting off the platform, trying to wind up for that up F smash, excuse me. And up tilt again going to send Lights skyward, trying to capitalize off of that with a cheeky up air to potentially end game number 1. But yeah, Lights seems more than content to let this thing go the distance and is waiting to pick their spot out. You have 2 minutes with which to do it, but Ling just trying to get this thing over with. That had kill potential written all over it, Ajax.
So close to being the demise of the first game, but Lights finally able to get him to the situation where he needs. You always want to keep a big body character like that above you. That's a regrab, but Ling able to get back on stage. You got to avoid this limit as Light is just hunting for you under you there. Getting close, 15 seconds left, and Lights just look for one of the jumper ways to jump up there and just let that side B rip as it was almost done. Ling kept that match so close, but Lights able to take game number 1.
I mean, again, you're trying to do everything that you possibly can to accrue some sort of advantage, and the quickness of the tilt attacks that Dedede has. Maybe it's not going to kill. Like, yes, you did get one at ledge with down tilt, whatever. But yeah, when you're trying to get something started up like a combo in the air, you need to pop them up. That frame 7 up tilt certainly going to help you out with that. At the same time, yeah, Cloud, not exactly terrible with their options either, even though they're not the quickest. Certainly getting cheeky with it, as that cross slash at the ledge going to secure game number 1. And Ling wants to run back, not going away from Dedede in this game number 2. I'm not sure what to make of this, Ajax.
I mean, to be completely honest, at first I questioned the DDD pick a little bit, and sure, it's maybe not the best matchup overall, but it's not like the Peach matchup is just a one-and-done victory as well against Cloud, or the VSS for that matter. So he decided to ride it out, currently behind in losers, and he's actually done a pretty solid job at that. You've been avoiding a lot of the kills. You've been doing a really good job at anti-air games, like you were mentioning before, those up airs. That thing got buffed recently. That thing kills super early now. So it's not completely unexpected, definitely not what we assumed, but it is still very much doable because you get these ledge traps like so. You may try it the first time you got hit, that time's gonna work. So even though Light is in a very comfortable position in terms of game, this is something I think that Ling is deciding to just rock with.
I mean, look, if you wanna make a fool out of me, that's fine. I do that job perfectly well myself, Ling. But at the same time, yeah, you just accrued 100 points worth of difference between yourself, and now you're well, okay, yeah, you got caught. That's fine. That's bound to happen. But yeah, that's a decent way to start off this game number 1. Now the question is, you can't really let yourself be comfortable even when you do have a hammer like DDD's, but if you're Lights, maybe you're sweating just a little bit because you realize how easily you can get caught by the hammer when you're carrying a Buster Sword around yourself. You don't have the best airspeed in the world. Your mobility, just after you press a button, isn't exactly what I would call optimal. So makes you wonder if Ling is supposed to be counterpunching here. Then, yeah, they're in pretty decent position to do it.
Yeah, dude, Ling luckily not taking that spike hitbox right there. That could have been the end of that stock potentially. One of the things that Ling has really done as a big difference between game 1 to 2 now is that, well, unfortunately missed grab there. One of the things that Ling has been doing is been doing a good job of staying just out of range, like movement baiting a lot. And looking very similar to the way Lights did before with those up smashes, baiting out a whip grab. You gotta get that up smash as well. So this is something that is actually looking in a half-decent position. Never count out Lights at any point because this match can get deleted very quickly, the damage output that Cloud can put on. But this game, too, it seems like Ling kind of figured a little bit something out on how to approach this matchup.
Yeah, and really just staying slightly out of range and out-buttoning Cloud, weirdly enough. And now as this forward throw, cross-slash off of the stage, is going to connect, and Lights finds themselves with a one stock to settle it among each other. And that Nair, again, going to connect and pile on just a little bit of damage, has to fight from behind, and that means you have to approach. Ling might be in good position to take advantage of that, though rolling in with that down tilt, I'm not sure if that's what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that you're seeing Lights now start to catch on a bit. You start to catch those landings. You start to get a good amount of stuff like that. But you got the jump, and that's going to be a mistake, which is going to force him into a bad spot. But because of the fact he was a little bit too far, he couldn't get in with that up because he assumed Ling was going to swing. Great job by Lights bringing that game closer, but Ling is going to get his first W on the board.
Yeah, and it was a W well earned at that as we take a look at some of these replays. I mean, Ling basically was just kind of poking away at Lights and utilizing the heavy damage that that DDD provides for sure, but it was really all about, it's just like real estate, location, location, location. And if you find your opposition at ledge, you have all the tools that you need as DDD. I mean, nerfed Gordo be damned. You can catch him at ledge and take those stocks relatively easily as long as you find yourself in a position to hit those up smashes on the second stock, or certainly the forward smash in the case of the first.
Yeah, 100%. And I like the fact that you always have to be very wary of when lights might go for something like that there. Definitely not afraid to drop down all the way to the bottom of the stage and go for one of those early side Bs. But you saw just a second ago, oh, you know what? Actually, this isn't too surprising because we've seen this Peach actually put in work last week. So deciding to switch over to Peach here, another one that's really good at combo food, but very similar to what we saw out of Web fighting against the ZSS. Does Ling just know how to handle every opportunity that is available because he is one of the best Peaches in the world?
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, right? I mean, when we saw Lights again taking on, this is their fourth appearance in I think 5 weeks in Grand Finals, and yeah, we saw the Peach do a little bit of work. It was a 3-0 in Grand against Web JP, as we saw them kind of switch off between characters over and over. But yeah, the Peach was how they wound up closing it out, I believe, in game number 2. And the Mr. Saturn in the hands of King Dedede, that's just terrifying. So yeah, remind me to never have that again. Trying to get the inhalation, gets the grab with Mr. Saturn. You're allowed to shield, I am not. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Pull everything, like, why not?
Last thing you want for sure is to be staring down DDD with Mr. Saturn, because you get that shield broken, that is a fully charged forward smash or potentially down B that is going to delete his stock. But one of the things that Peach is so good at, especially against people who have big bodies like that, is catching jumps from ledge, and that is something that Lights has shown very prominent capabilities of doing as well with this Peach. That's going to be the first stock, but can Ling dig off stage, find that miscue, look for the sledge tap, trying to find the jump off of stage, possibly a rising forward air, not going to happen though. Instead, though, gets the coverage on the other side with that up smash, and we're looking at an even game.
That thing is as sweeping as ever, and I was honestly a little sad that I saw Mr. Saturn fly off the stage. It's always just a little sad to me, but I'm sure that it's well to the relief of Ling, just trying to make sure that that thing is off, and certainly of Lights. If you find that thing in the hands of Dedede, oh my goodness, you are in for a world of hurt. Just fully charged F smash, you have no choice but to eat that. But yeah, this is Ling right now kind of controlling the proceedings at the moment, as Lights up to 95%, was perhaps looking for a button there. But yeah, you're Peach. You don't have to take anyone's mess in the air, quite frankly. You can just kind of charge in and back air, and they just have to sort of deal with it.
I just realized canonically, doesn't that mean now that every Mr. Saturn that we've seen get knocked off stage gets sent to Minecraft? Sure seems like it, but that is post the next patch. So unfortunately, Mr. Saturn joining the blocky world we're currently fighting here in
Next
fully
patch
rendered
of
polygons.
And I'm kind of curious now.
You know, everybody, it's shown proven that canonically everybody who gets sent away is actually just sent to Minecraft. So right now, Ling looking for the Semptone at the ledge, trying to find himself a ledge trap situation. There it is! And a Joe go ahead, just jump straight up, made it look like he wasn't going to go up there at all by putting down that Gordo at the ledge. Like, okay, I'm not really going to do anything, and catching a miscued landing attempt from Light. Ling is going to take the second stock and starting to find a bit of an opening here. If that was a side B on a spot that would have been so much damage. But good job by Lights. Also getting blessed by RNG since one more time, give it to him, is the Mr. Saturn. And luckily no shield break there.
Yeah.
Just even that Mr. Saturn pitch face. You can still shield break with that, though, as well as getting at.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. With these turnip drops, it can turn a good situation very volatile for Ling, because you just basically had Lights roll the die and the bomb comes out. Oh my gosh, that is one of those things you have to just like clench and pray at that juncture and hope that maybe your movement is good enough to avoid it. And Ling, certainly this Dedede is far from a slouch. Hey Jax, you were talking this thing up and you were wondering if this was tournament ready. I'd say it's tournament ready, honestly.
100%. It's putting in work, and also I miscalled the game where the RNG was going to come in. Lights pulling out 3 of the big RNG pulls, out 4th with the dot eyes. Yeah, at this point you just keep pulling for the sake of pulling at this point, because you just never know what might bless you next time. And for Ling, that is troublesome because you're trying to find your way in, you're stuck on the ledge, and then things just keep coming in the way of Lights. But if you could find one of these back airs, or potentially an anti-air like you just saw, looking for a run-up up tilt, there it is, the back air on the roll read. Not going to do it just just yet, though. Is there a way that Lights is able to navigate around this ledge trap? No, he's going to get hit by the Gordo. And Ling is going to go up 2-1, possibly getting that much closer to the potential bracket reset.
And you kind of have to love it. Yeah, you want to play dice games with turnip pools. Well, how about this? Back air and Gordo. Figure the odds of that. And doing that right in the middle of the stage sends you so far up. Again, that's the power of the hammer, and that Gordo is going to be enough to send Peach skyward and into the blast zone. And that's Ling taking 2 games off of Lights' secondaries. It makes you wonder if Lights wants to close this out. They'll have to do it in 2 straight games, and it makes you wonder if we are going to be seeing an appearance from that DSS. And indeed it is. You have beaten the side bosses. Well, guess what? In the words of Terry Bogard, here comes the big boss, as ZSS will make their appearance on Battlefield. And I'm not really sure if this is where you want to take ZSS, Ajax.
I think one of the big things for Ling is his comfort stage pick at this point. We saw in the previous set, too, that Ling was willing to come here, not only against Web, but against Lights, too, because she's kind of used to this layout. But one of the things that Ling has really been getting better at with the Dedede as the sets progress is these ledge traps. Ling was able to bait out the early jump before with that ending Gordo. However, you have to be able to replicate that against the flip kick that is ZSS and that great off-stage gameplay. Good job of going high, avoiding the ledge trap, the edge guarding attempt from Lights. As we've seen, he's consistently not afraid to go off there like so. You have to be very, very careful in the route that you choose. Oh, anti-air up air too. This is looking pretty good too.
Yeah, seriously, and that paralyzer shot, looking for the charge in the down smash. However, Ling just moving away. I was jamming out the bomb rush flush. I'm not even going to lie to you. You know your boy. You know your boy's a squid. Come on now, but that's going to be Lights sending Ling skyward. The Gordo with that little get back. However, now you want to catch me on a platform? That's fine. I got a plasma whip waiting for you. First blood being drawn by the number 10 in the Wi-Fi world. Oh my gosh!
Drawn immediately by Ling, recognizing an up smash for an up smash. I know a small window that I have available to punish that, and I got the disjoint to do it. And this has been a very close match. Against, like we said, I think we could just put it in the books at this point and call it for what it is. Ling definitely understands how this matchup works, and deciding to go with the Dedede is working out very well. Looking for the early edge guard potentially. No, not able to get into a position where he could go for a stage spike fair, but I like it. If you have a reversal of a ledge trap like that and you're at 8%, maybe don't go for it there. Let it sit in the back of Light's head that what is he going to do next time if I end up in that situation again?
Looking for that paralyzer shot yet again. However, Ling seems to have caught up to the timing of ZSS's get-ups. I mean, when you're talking about catching get-ups, how much does your game plan differ from when you're playing as ZSS or Cloud or Peach? Really, like, Lights having to go back and forth between these characters. He's played 3 different characters in 3 different games. Ling has remained consistent. I mean, how much variance is there really with what Lights is needing to do in order to secure these last 2 stops?
It's mostly just that Lights has been playing at roll distance, not anywhere near possibly getting hit by one of these rising up airs. And I think that's why he decided to finally go there at that point to look for a down air on an attempted up air, but not even going to matter. Going to read the jump off ledge. He's kind of been letting Ling get away with those for a little bit because he's a bit too far from him. And he's going to close it out with that back air. But Ling looking for the high recovery. Good job by Lights to get away from it.
Looking for that down smash. However, Lights can just jump right over it and throw a button out right over the head of that hammer. Yeah, let's see you avoid that. However, says Ling, that Gordo has been doing so much work putting in overtime off of the ledge, but Lights doing well to avoid it this time and sitting at 67% on their last stock. Lights in very real position to make this game 5 a reality. Looking for the nair, trying to catch Ling, going outward just a little bit more. However, one quick up tilt evens it up at 1 stock apiece.
I'm not going to lie. In my soul, I believed that Lights was going off stage to go for a down air. He was looking for a low recovery attempt to try and go for it. I don't know whether he didn't believe enough or just decided, you know what, I'm going to keep it safe. But this is still looking very good for Lights, 45% to 125. However, this is still not killed just yet unless you get that nice hit that back here near the ledge. So one more up smash, I think Ling has room to work with unless he takes a few more hits. Otherwise, possibly a boost kick at the ledge. 45% though, I wouldn't be sitting too comfortably. Play as defensive as possible so you don't get hit by one of these straight back airs or one of these up smashes.
Yeah, no, if you find yourself in that position, it doesn't matter if you're DDD, you are in a world of hurt, and you have worked so hard to make this happen, especially at a loser's side. You don't want to give this DSS a single moment to breathe, and this up smash on the platform, it was well caught by Lights, and again, that educated whip of DSS is going to take yet another game for the number 10 in the Wi-Fi world, and they bring it to two games, apiece in this initial grand finals. So we're either going to get the reset or we're going to have it end right here on this counter pick from Ling.
All that was based off of one miscued, misplaced command grab, looking for that inhale, went to the other side. It allowed Lights to get in and close out that stock. You saw Ling, like I was saying before, at 45%, even with the 125, do not play too comfortable. That right there, that's where in my heart I thought a down air was coming out.
Yeah.
If you catch Ling on one of those jumps, you're a stock up. You can afford to go for it. But I like the reserved play, not just giving it up for no reason, because you saw here, it got the 93%, but that one mistake cost Ling. We're going now into game 5. Ling running it all the way through with the Dedede, and it changes scenery. We're going on to PS2.
And yeah, this is one of those things. You have that low ceiling that plays favors for both characters, but then again, if you're Lights, you die way the hell earlier than Ling. So I'm not really sure about the rationale of that pick, but then again, you look at the horizontal stage space that you're allowed. If you're a ZSS, are you maybe going for a timeout here?
Possibly, it does play in your favor. You have the wider range. You have the, but I think the big thing is that Ling had too much room to work with near you. It's too easy for this big body character to close the gap. So, with this stage counter pick over to the other side, Ling might be playing into his head. It's like, okay, I'm going to give more room to work with to reset against the DSS, but also I'm going to make him think that he's got more room to work with and then possibly snipe out a couple early stocks by catching some weird place jumps. I think that's what we're going for here in game number 5, but right now, Dedede is the reversal of the up air and good DI. Not going to die just yet. He holds in towards that. Might die off the top.
And again, yeah, it's the directional influence of Lights is one of those things that has allowed them to be so good with this character and really allow themselves to top 8 so many tournaments and indeed win so many tournaments in weeks and certainly a few years past. This ZSS sitting at 121, yeah, you're definitely like thinking this is Ling's pick, but when you have to play around it and you're having your game dictated in that regard, that up tilt going to kill at 121, you're going to have to play around it to some respect. But yeah, that's it kind of makes you wonder, maybe Lights is going to be made to play a little bit more defensively because all your best kill options are simply not killing. Ling surviving to 155, and only now are they able to do it. Is that all? Says Lights, don't worry, you have at least 2 stocks to go.
And Ling was living on a prayer a little while ago. He was dodging every single possible edge guard attempt that was put out by Lights, not only not dying to the up smash, but avoiding the back air, and then finally getting hit by the plasma whip on stage. But what are the ways? Get into your opponent's head, throw out some taunts, throw out a couple of tactical crouches, and try and make it so they get frustrated. However, that has not worked so far. Ling keeping his cool, not really letting that get to him, and able to just reverse the sledge trap, as we've seen him do with the Dedede before, and get some big damage. However, still stuck here. Has been playing quite some time, finally finding a way out, and Lights also finding his way back in on stage.
Yeah, and this is Ling probably just going to take their sweet old time. If Lights wants to eat up some of the clock, I think Ling is more than happy to oblige because whatever damage that you get and whatever combo opportunities that you are able to accrue at this point, that gives you 30, 40 points worth of damage, and it's on Lights to then try to match it. So I definitely sort of understand in that regard if you are Ling. However, Lights, not too bad on the defensive end of things themselves, and Ling trying to draw out an opportunity to attack, just kind of floating there in the middle of the stage with those multiple jumps that Dedede gives you. Kind of makes you wonder. I mean, this is a staring contest at this point, Ajax. it's a matter of who blinks first.
Also, wow. Well, I don't know if that decision was intentional or not, but putting the side V in a position where the flip kick ended, Ling definitely with the right call. The down tilt is actually going to cover the KO as well. Ling not getting enough time to possibly jump up there and do the best taunt in the game by holding down with Dedede. But Ling already, even though we saw a much better defensive gameplay out of Light than that last stock there, which is very necessary against this matchup the way it's progressing, Ling was still able to once again find the first KO. Now, can Ling finish his food and bring this to a reset is the big question here. Light's looking for one of these excellent ledge traps we've seen out of him all day, but Ling has somehow been able to avoid it a lot recently with these well-positioned directional air dodges.
Yeah, that forward air going to give himself just a little bit of space, and we have seen it kill on many instances. Not going to do so at that percentage, not even providing the knockback that, frankly, I was expecting it to. And now is you're trying to give yourself a little bit of space, and Light being forced to try to close it down. Certainly has the character with which to do it, and not really sure you're in the position to taunt right now, Light. You have a little bit of damage to make up, but then again, I suppose it's they are the ones that are in winner's side, so that gets that makes me the idiot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the big thing is that it's just a confidence move. Even behind, we've seen, we've talked about top 10 players. We've seen in the offline world, the top 10 players are always willing to go ahead and pop off those taunts because you want to make sure that you not only get ahead of your opponent, but you continue to show that you're still confident in the situation you're in. This is a very rough situation right here. Ling currently getting forced off the ledge. Once again, you have to watch out, but getting that much closer to kill percent. However, if Lights can find one of these good edge guard attempts, that might spell victory and possibly prevent the reset of Grand Finals.
And I mean, what a difference between, like, it's like Light and Day, what we saw from Winners Finals and from this Grands. This is going 5 games, going the distance, and Ling, after losing to Lights by a score of 3-0, is now in position to take this. However, has accumulated a damage deficit at this point, and more than enough time for Lights to simply run out the clock. No reason to approach whatsoever, but you got the shot into the ground, and it's gonna be the boost kick that takes it. Lights wins it by a score of 3-2 and claims back-to-back DNA championships.
By the very edge of the tip of the toes, that was Dedede. Ling has been consistently getting by with those directional air dodges in and able to find his way around a majority of the attempts. As we see right there with that amazing avoidance, but still Light's able to find that ledge trap, even though there were multiple times that Ling was able to get the stock first, very similar to what happened in the last set. Unfortunately, losing to that up B from Cloud, very similar situation here. He wasn't able to close it out, and Lights, like you said, taking it once again, and DNA.EXE Grand Finals victor going to Lights, and what a run once again that he had. Absolutely impressive, and it's hard to be consistent like that, but he's able to do it time and time again.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, because Lights, definitely deserving of that victory, was tested, however, by the Dedede of Ling. That is a bona fide...
very impressively as well at that.
Yeah, that's a bona fide secondary that we saw there. So a little bit of option coverage there, some good character coverage, stage coverage as well. You were talking about playing against Dedede and picking for Dedede, and boom, out comes the top tier. So now you just put yourself into a world of hurt. That's something to consider, and it makes you wonder just how much better Ling can get. May not be satisfied with a second place finish, but what's to come from Ling is certainly worthy of note.
Yeah, power struggles being put out there. Obviously Lights coming through once again with the W, but Ling taking it over Webb, who is consistently a contender and a fighter for that second place. And now Webb having to think about those counter picks as well. How does he deal with not only the Peach, but possibly the Dedede? Who knows? But I agree. Bona fide pick, very solidified, and removes all questions behind the choice was that Dedede. And also another person putting in some work today, Z- with that Luigi coming through, and possibly we'll see more of that pit in the future, and a bunch of other strong contenders here on DNA.EXE. But that's it for us. This has been a wonderful night, Stu. Once again, you already know I've had a great time. I'm glad to be able to catch with you each week by week. What did you think of all the contenders and all of our sponsors and such?
I mean, it's just wonderful, the fact that we get to do this for the people, and the fact that we get to cast such consistently great Smash is really an honor and a privilege, and I'm glad to have done this alongside you, Ajax, and certainly with Chriselodian in production. Follow them on Twitter at Chriselodian. And I'm going to ask Chris one more time. Hey, big boss, hit him with the ad slides. Want to thank UEF.GG. Hit that site up. It's the United E-League Federation. It's providing infrastructure for grassroots esports of all sorts, and that's Mario Kart, that's Rocket League, and certainly now with Smash. Providing earning opportunities for players, commentators, organizers, live producers, and more. You got a question? Hit up the Discord, discord.link/UEF. Register, play games, earn credits. Shoutouts to UEF. But maybe you're not really satisfied with all the Smash stuff we've got going on. Well, guess what? We've got the Glentendo Circuit. 12 races of absolute mayhem, and we do rely on your streams in order to broadcast it. So definitely make sure that you're streaming. Let us know. The tournament code is right there on the screen. So screenshot it, write it down, chisel it, whatever it is that you have to do to recognize it. That is what you do. It's our online weekly, and it's, of course, right here on MHG. You want a little bit more content? Ajax is quite familiar with this thing, the Gloves Off podcast. You definitely want to hit that up on SoundCloud, on YouTube. And while we get this thing going, while we're trying to restructure MHG, certainly the Gloves Off podcast is going to be part of that in the future. And you'll be notified it right here if you are following Master Hand Gaming.
And of course, Fusion.EXE every single Monday as another one of the premier Wi-Fi brackets that you see every single week. Make sure you register by 6:30. It has been consistently threatened by RJ with a good time to add a bit of extra money to the pot. $50 that could increase to even higher if they fill out that bracket. Make sure you come in and check it out. Happens every single Monday. It is a free online bracket to enter. It is not region locked. It is on smash.gg/fusion, and of course hosted on the stream of Collision Smash. Make sure you check that out every single Monday as we get ready to close out the night. One closing out message I always want to say is when I like to look at the Twitch chat, like I said before, whenever people happen to feel down about the way you're playing or you're worried about what people have to say, don't worry about them. It's about you and your personal growth, and it's about how you approach the game that feels comfortable to you. Whether you play defensive or you play aggressive, if it works out in the way that's going to work for you, doesn't matter, because it's usually the big thing is when you start to get haters, that means you're doing it right. So once you start to play in a way that works for you, please continue to do that. And you can do that right here every single week on DNA.EXE. My name is Ajax. If you'd like to go ahead and show me some support, and Stu, of course, some support, our Twitters are down below at Ajax_HQ and at Stu, the announcer. Make sure you check it out every single week. I am having a great time, and you already know I love being here with everybody and being able to cast with you once again, Stu.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to cast with you and for all of you. So one final message. Take what Ajax said about Smash and apply it to life. Don't let anyone dictate what you mean to the world aside from you, because you matter, damn it. So from all of us, from the shadows of Tri-State, Ajax and Chris, I'm Stu the announcer, wishing you good night, and until we meet again, happy smashing.